Welcome to the Lakeland Midget Basketball League for today's game between the Parsippany Pacers and the Randolph Bulldogs. The game is being played in Yanatelli Center on the campus of St. Peter's College in Jersey City, New Jersey. My name is Fred Douglas, and I'll call the play for you today, and working with me will be Pete Angus. Now let's meet today's players. First for the Randolph Bulldogs, number 14, Donald Soyson, co-captain. Number 4, Darrell Aiken, co-captain. Number 13, Brian Hooper. Number 11, David Nida. Number 12, John Fredericks. Number 9, Mark Jager. Number 10, Kevin Saltz. Number 5, Bill Stackler. Number 1, Mike Dolak. Mike Dolak. Number 6, Scott Underwood. Number 7, Gus Pavlos. Number 15, Robert Dow. And coach of the Bulldogs, Ludia Rentowitz. Now the cheerleaders for the Parsippany Pacers. Eileen Graham. Bridget Wagner. Shelley Moore. Terry Berkman. Kelly Harrington. Susan Manhart. Geraldine Walrob. Colleen Harrington. And Kathy Roth. The cheerleaders coach is Dolores Ellis. And now the Parsippany Pacers, the Par-Troy Pacers. Number 14, Steve Skane. Number 6, Bob Sullivan. Number 2, Dan Gallagher. Number 4, Bob Ferrer. Number 5, Dave Cook. Number 6, Tommy Walrap. Make that number 1, Tommy Walrap. Number 7, Jim Sanders. Number 5, Kenny Shields. Number 12, Mike Lynch. Number 3, Chris Callahan. Number 15, Eric Bogdan. Number 4, Todd Ellis. And number 10, Rich Manhart. Pacers coaches are Bill Skane and Jim Sanders. Okay, we'll be ready to start today's game in just a few minutes as soon as the boys have loosened up a little bit. Very briefly, what Parsippany Pacer basketball and Lakeland Midget basketball is all about is a recreation department sponsored activity run in 11 area teams. The league is fairly new. This is only their second or third year of operation, and they've been rapidly expanding. They're currently in their 6th game of the season, with the Pacer team sporting a 2-3 record. Randolph team is 5-2. We have to meet today's referees, and here we have an oversight. Today's referees are Bob Stuckard and Roger Bach. Today's game is being played as the preliminary before the Manhattan St. Peter's College basketball game. And they'll be playing 8-minute quarters. And there are a few rules that we ought to bring to the attention of the people in the audience. Number one is that a boy who plays in any part of the first quarter will not be able to play in any part of the second quarter. The rule is designed so that as many people as possible get the chance to play. I'll repeat that rule. Any boy who plays in any part of the first quarter will not be allowed to play in any part of the second quarter. And then in the second half, any boy who's been playing in any of the quarters is eligible to play at all right throughout the whole rest of the game. That sounds a little bit confusing, but I think it'll be clear as we go along. I should mention that today's game is a JV game. The varsity game was played earlier, and it was won by Randolph on a spectacular tap-in at the buzzer. Pete, is there anything that you were able to tell by talking to the Randolph coach what we might expect from the Randolph team today?
Randolph's record is 3 wins and 2 losses. There are only 2 defeats coming on scores that were very close. They've lost by 1 and 2 points. There should be a fairly good ball club, and coaches told me they will play a 2-on-2 zone and possibly press.
Well, I think we can expect some running and shooting out here today, because I understand that the Parsippany team likes to press also. Tap is controlled by Parsippany, and number 6 is Bobby Sullivan. 2-1-2 zone as we expected for Randolph. And Bobby Skane hits the first basket of the game. 2-0 Parsippany. Parsippany in the zone as well. Randolph brings the ball over. Todd Ellis is the point guard in the 1-3-1 offense. Out of bounds. Ball belongs to Parsippany. Last touch by Randolph. And there we have a full court press right away. Ball thrown up the left side to Eric Bogdan and back to Bobby Skane. Bobby Skane is the quarterback of this team. He'll try to do most of the ball handling. As you can see, the boys are very patient. They have in mind exactly what they want. And I think as long as you want that kind of jump shot, with somebody shoot the ball out well, Jimmy Sanders, you'll take that anytime you can get it. 4-0 Parsippany. Traveling, no basket. And the ball goes over to Parsippany. Randolph stays up in the press. And Sullivan triggers the ball inbounds. That's Steve Skane down the sideline, dribbles around 2 defenders, and a nice little pass inside. And assist goes to Skane, and Jimmy Sanders scores. Second basket for Sanders, 6-0 Parsippany. We might mention that this floor is a little bit longer than some of the boys are used to practicing on, and as the game goes on, it'll take a few minutes for them to adjust to the size of the court. Nice pass inside, and there's a foul on the play. Foul was committed by Eric Bogdan. Bogdan's first on the team. It's a shooting foul. And Don Soyson goes to the line for 2. Today's officials are Roger Bach and Bob Stuckard. They're card-carrying NJSIA officials. First shot is missed. That ball missed the rim, and it'll be inbounded on the side. It'll be Parsippany ball on the side. Side out, and the ball will be taken out by Bobby. I have to get the name of. Foul's on Todd Ellis. Second on the team, first on Ellis. Aiken inbounds the ball. I'm sorry if I don't get the names of all these players, but we're operating without spotters today, and I have to try to find the names of the people on a list, and it's not that easy. Todd Ellis brings the ball over for Parsippany, and he travels. Ball goes over to Randolph. Point guard is Darrell Aiken, and the little boy who just inbounded the ball is number 5, and that's Billy Stackler. Steal by Ellis, and restolen by Stackler. However, there's a foul on the play. It'll be a non-shooting foul, and Randolph will inbound the ball on the sideline.
Randolph foul number 5, Bill Stackler, first personal team first.
Todd Ellis inbounding to Steve Skane. He can shoot from there, and he does. Rebound Aiken, and Randolph looks to get the ball up the floor quickly. He has a man open underneath, but he didn't see him, and his ball is stolen by number 7 for Parsippany, Jimmy Sanders. That's Bobby Sullivan. The two leading scorers on Parsippany, as we understand it, are Bobby Sullivan and Bobby Skane. So anytime that the Parsippany team tries to run, they'll be getting the jump shot. Travel. And Randolph stays up in the press. Up front they have Dave Nida and Aiken, Darrell Aiken, in their presser defense. And the press works. They caused the turnover. They got Bobby Sullivan dribbling, and he threw the ball away. And now we have another turnover, and the ball goes back to Parsippany. Time remaining 5:04. The score is 8-2 Parsippany, and we have timeout. With that timeout, I might mention that Parsippany has 2 wins and 4 losses, and is 0-4 in league play at this time, as Randolph's record is 5 up and 2 down, and all their games are in the league. There's an 11-team league, and the Lakeland Midget League has really been growing. I think you might see divisional play, or even play beyond the boundaries of our county in the future. Ball belongs to Randolph. Check that. The ball belongs to Parsippany. Sullivan to inbound. Skane in the front line with Sanders. And then the pressure up front. There's almost a turnover as the ball does come over, but then once again, once they beat the pressure, the easy layup for Jimmy Sanders. He has 6 points already, and the game is only 3.5 minutes old. Parsippany leads 10-2. We have a jump ball between number 12 for Parsippany, and that's Mike Lynch, and number 13 is Brian Hooper. Hooper is the biggest man on the Randolph roster, and he controls the tap easily over to Aiken. Jump shot is good, and it's 10-4. Skane with the ball. Up to Eric Bogdan, and the steal by Hooper ahead to Aiken. Aiken ahead, and we have an out of bounds on Randolph. Stepping out of bounds was David Nida. And Randolph stays up in the press. Sullivan inbounds. Up the sideline to Sanders, and then Sanders gives to Bobby Skane. Skane with the ball, right side. From deep. That shot's a long shot. It's a little bit longer than he realizes here on the college floor. It's a 94-foot floor, 50 feet wide, and sometimes these boys aren't used to that size gym. Aiken with a nice pass. And number 5 on the side over here is Billy Stackler. Back to Aiken, nice move, penetrates and shoots. 10-6. Sullivan with the ball. That was Skane over to Sullivan. Sullivan is number 6. I'm still having trouble with the names and the numbers. It's stolen. Stackler with the layup. A nice little steal for the little man, Billy Stackler. 10-8. And Randolph has changed the tempo of the game with another steal. And there's a turnover. Ball belongs to Parsippany. However, Randolph has definitely changed the tempo in the last few minutes. I think they've started to realize that after the ball comes in bounds, they can still cause turnovers up near midcourt. Now they drop back and they don't put the pressure on the way they were before. And they're in their zone defense. That's Sullivan over to Sanders. Sanders can shoot from there. Rebound comes off to Aiken. Aiken to Nida. Nida shoots. Rebound Randolph. Back to Stackler. Nice move around Skane. Shot is rebounded. It's a little scramble under the basket, and there'll be a foul on the play. Eric Bogdan. Fouls on Eric Bogdan. Well, Pete, do you think the teams have started to settle down a little bit more, or you think we might have to wait a little longer? It looks like to me that Parsippany had the tempo going their way right away, and now Randolph seems to have settled right down. What do you think?
Well, it looks like neither team has had a definite advantage so far. I think we're going to need a little more time to tell.
Nice move by Aiken, and all of a sudden we have a 10-10 game. This is Bobby Skane in the backcourt under all kinds of pressure. Over to Sullivan. He has people open down the floor, and there's a foul been committed. Foul's on Billy Stackler. Randolph's doing a nice job. They're putting pressure on the dribbler, and he's not able to look up the floor where he has 2 people open.
Randolph foul number 5, Bill Stackler, second personal, team 7.
Sullivan inbounding. Sanders with the ball, driving baseline, shoots and misses. Rebound comes down to Randolph, and we have a foul on Parsippany on the rebound. It'll be a non-shooting foul, so they'll inbound. Stackler takes the ball out. Nida and Aiken in the backcourt with Stackler. Ball comes up, and it's Darrell Aiken with the ball. Aiken to Nada, Nada to Hoopla. Nice pass inside, and a very nice play. That basket was scored by Donald Soyson, and for the first time today, we have a 12-10 lead. Randolph in front. Randolph was down very quickly, 10-2, but they've come storming back on the strength of the steals. We have a foul there. Randolph has come back on the strength of their steals and their fast break, and a very fine play of Darrell Aiken and a good passing the last time down the floor.
Number 13, Brian Hooper, his first personal, team 3rd. Randolph leads
Non-shooting foul. Ball be inbounded by Parsippany. That's Todd Ellis. Back to Skane. Skane fakes. Skane is a fine shooter. If they give him room, he can shoot the ball. Rebound was taken down by Eric Bogdan, and the foul was called on Eric Bogdan on the play. No, he was fouled. Sorry, foul was on Randolph. Nice out of bounds play. Todd Ellis underneath in traffic, and he's called for 3 seconds. The ball goes over to Randolph. 1:30 left to go in the first quarter, and it's 12-10 Randolph. Been about 2.5 or 3 minutes since Parsippany scored last. And there's a turnover. Ball goes back to Parsippany. Bad pass by Aiken. Randolph stays in the pressure, looking to double team anytime they can as the ball's on the way up. Skane to Ellis. Ellis shoots, and the rebound comes down to Sanders. We have a foul on Aiken on the rebound. First foul on Aiken.
And the foul before Darrell Aiken is first personal, team fifth. Randolph over the limit.
Jimmy Sanders on the line, and 1-1.
Shooting 1-1.
Sanders misses, but Eric Bogdan comes down with the rebound. Back up, nice play, Eric, but he misses the layup. Steal by Skane. Off to Ellis, back to Skane. And this is Bobby Sullivan. Sanders has the ball blocked. The ball belongs to Parsippany. 57 seconds to go in the first quarter. 12-10 Randolph. Parsippany in an overload. They have all 5 people on the right side of the floor. And Randolph stays in their zone. They're willing to give the outside jump shots away. They don't think that they can be beaten from there, apparently. This is Bobby Skane. And there's a steal, Don Aiken. Darrell Aiken on the steal and the near turnover, and now the ball is recovered in the corner. He gets the ball back outside to Donald Soyson. Soyson's pass in between 2 Rams, and the ball will go over to Parsippany. Bobby Skane with the ball. 15 seconds left in the period. Looks like Parsippany will take the one shot at the end with the opportunity to tie the game. 7 seconds. 5, 3, 2. Shot is up. No good. Rebound shot. And that's the end of the first quarter. The score is Randolph 12 and Parsippany 10. And now we'll get an opportunity to take a look at the substitution rule that's involved in JV basketball, where all the people coming in now will be new people. So in order to do well at this level, it would seem that you should have 10 or 12 solid, steady players as opposed to 1 or 2 superstars. First quarter stats that we have. Jimmy Ellis has 6 points for. Well, check that. That's not Ellis. That would be Aiken, Darrell Aiken, with 6 points and 1 personal foul for Randolph. Number 14 Soyson has 2 points with no fouls, and number 13 Brian Hooper has 2 points and 2 personal fouls, with the final 2 points going to Billy Stackler. He also has committed 2 personal fouls, so Randolph is over the limit. Okay, we're ready for the second quarter now with a whole new lineup. 10 new people in the game. Number 2 for Parsippany. I'm sorry, I have trouble calling these people because I have to check the names. I'll catch them as I go along as best that I can. Point guard in the game right now is Saltz. That's Kevin Saltz, and there's a steal by number 2 again. That's Danny Gallagher, and then there's another turnover, and the ball goes back to Randolph. Saltz brings the ball up for Randolph, who stays in the 1-3-1 lineup. Saltz over to Fredericks. Fredericks looking, back to Saltz, back to Fredericks, shot. Rebound Jaeger, up again, rebound Fredericks. And we have 3 seconds called on Randolph, and the ball goes over to Parsippany. Gallagher and Bobby Ferrer are the 2 guards. Bobby Ferrer is number 9, and now number 10 inbounding the ball is Rich Manhart. Manhart over to Mike Lynch, and back to Manhart, and now over to Danny Gallagher. Shot is blocked by Randolph, but we have a foul on the play. So we'll have a Parsippany foul. The foul was committed by Fredericks. Dave Cook goes to the line for 2. Dave Cook at the line. makes the first, and the score is 12-11. Pulls Parsippany within one. This could tie the game. Good. 12-12. And Parsippany was expected to press, but we haven't seen it yet. Maybe they're waiting until the very closing moments to pull it as a surprise. Jaeger over to Fredericks. Fredericks back to Jaeger. Fredericks is the good shooter out here, and they'll let him take the shot. Randolph will, that is. They'll let him shoot the ball whenever he's open. Danny Gallagher with the long pass down to Cook. And now Parsippany will try to set up. Cook and Gallagher, and now the ball goes inside. Nice pass, and the shot is taken and missed. Gallagher has the rebound. Long shot by number 10, Rich Manhart, misses everything, and the ball belongs to Parsippany. Out of bounds play coming, 4 men on the foul line. Let's see what they do. Cook's shot is partially blocked, and the ball is taken off by 2 people and will go up with a jump ball. The jumpers are number 12 for Parsippany, Mike Lynch, and Saltz for Randolph. Partroy ball. Gallagher to Cook. Back to Gallagher. Back to Cook, and then back to Gallagher again. Mike Lynch, back to Cook, open jump shot. And the rebound taken by Jaeger. Jaeger ahead of the field to Saltz. Holds up as Parsippany really hustles back on defense. Set up their zone. Fredericks penetrates and shoots. And in the scramble for the rebound, it'll be a jump ball. 5:29 left in the second quarter. It's a 12-12 tie. Parsippany Pacers and the Randolph Bulldogs. This is a recreation department sponsored game in between 2 of the midget teams in the Lakeland Midget League. Jump ball. Dolak and Lynch. Lynch from Parsippany and Dolak from Randolph. Lynch controls the tap, and Parsippany comes up running. Over to Danny Gallagher. Back to Gallagher on the baseline. Dolak with the steal. And Dolak brings the ball over. Saltz back to the ball, almost stolen. Fredericks on the dribble. Underwood to Dolak, and Dolak hits. 14-12 Randolph. Manhart and Gallagher bring the ball. Gallagher with a long pass down the floor, stolen by Jaeger, restolen by Cook, and we have another fast break going for Parsippany. Cook on a nice drive, ties the game at 14 all. Nice steal and drive by Dave Cook. 4:32 to go, second quarter, 14 all. Saltz brings the ball up for Randolph. Over to Fredericks and back to Saltz. Kevin Saltz and John Fredericks back and forth. We have a jump ball. Bob Ferrer and number 12, John Fredericks. Controlled by Saltz from Randolph. Underwood doesn't have room, but he gives it back to Dolak. Dolak has a nice looking two-handed set shot from that side of the floor. Fredericks with the ball under pressure. And Randolph rebounds, but the ball is lost out of bounds. It'll be Parsippany ball. And a long pass by Gallagher is again stolen, but now Cook recovers again. And Jaeger has the ball for Randolph. He's called for traveling. The ball goes back to Parsippany. Randolph substitution, number 7, Gus Pavlos. And also Robert Dow, number 15.
15, Robert Dow. Now the Randolph.
This is Dave Cook from Par Troy, and now Dan Gallagher. Back to Cook. Cook from deep. Rebound Gallagher. Rebound Cook. And Fredericks from Randolph comes away with the ball. 3 minutes, 22 seconds remain. Second quarter of play. Score tie. Robert Dow's shot is rebounded by Dave Cook. And the ball goes back to Parsippany. This is Dan Gallagher dribbling the ball for Parsippany. Dave Cook. Dave Cook with a fine outside touch for a big boy gives Parsippany the lead, 16-14. Salt's over to Pavlos, and Jager's shot. No good, rebounded in there by Cook. Dave Cook ripping the ball away, has it stripped by Pavlos, and now the shot is taken by Randolph. And finally, Randolph puts the ball back up and in. Mark Jager scores. Seems like the second group that Randolph has is a much stronger rebounding group than their first group. Fouls committed by Salt. And we have two more substitutes coming in now for Parsippany. Callahan and Walrab. Tommy Walrab, number 1, and number 3 is Callahan, Chris Callahan. Would you give me some, I don't know our names at all either, as I'm saying it. You can just mention whose names are being on. Who's the shooter? Mike Lynch at the line, shooting 1 and 1.
2:22 remaining second quarter. Score tied at 16.
We have a mix-up here on the foul call. It seems that the foul was committed by 12 white instead of being 12 blue, so the shoe is on the other foot. Instead of Parsippany going to the line, it'll be Randolph at the line. And when they get it all sorted out, it'll be 2 shots, or it'll be 1 and 1 at least. It's 1 and 1 for Kevin Saltz. And the rebound to Kevin Cook. Ahead to Callahan. This is Chris Callahan with the ball, and Tommy Walrab. Walrab over to Richie Manhart. And back to Walrab and back to Manhart. We have traveling on Chris Callahan. Randolph ball. Gus Pavlos coming up for Randolph. He's in the backcourt with Kevin Saltz. Parsippany stays in their zone. Saltz and Pavlos looking for the open shot, and Gus Pavlos hits his second shot of the second quarter. That gives the lead back to Randolph, 18-16.
1:34 remaining second quarter.
This is Tommy Walrab. And Rich Manhart's shot is rebounded by Rich Manhart. Back to Tommy Walrab. He's open. Shot is no good, and the rebound in a scramble is taken away by Randolph. Kevin Saltz from Randolph. Saltz over to Pavlos. He's had 2 good jump shots from that side. Rebound goes to Dow, and the block in the lane. Rebound scramble. Fredericks from Randolph rebounds. Jager from Randolph rebounds. And Randolph has taken control down here on their offensive end. Over the last 3 or 4 minutes, it seems every time they take a shot, if they don't make it, they get their own rebound back. Jager shooting 2. 59 seconds left before the half. This time Parsippany takes the rebound away. And Dave Cook gives the ball to Tommy Walrab. Walrab brings the ball over, and what we have is a palming violation just as he stepped over mid-court. So the ball goes back to Randolph. Kevin Saltz on the point over to Fredericks. He checks the clock. There's 44 seconds to go. And there's another Randolph rebound, and the foul is committed underneath by number 12 from Parsippany, Mike Lynch. Randolph on the foul line with the 18-16 lead. And they have a big advantage underneath their offensive rebounds, underneath their offensive basket, getting 2 and 3 shots whenever they want to. First is no good. Second is no good, but Randolph again comes away with the rebound. This is their third shot. 30 seconds left. Shot is blocked, and Parsippany comes away with the ball. Stolen, restolen, and Tommy Walrob has the ball. Last 15 seconds of the half. Parsippany has one shot to tie, and Danny Gallagher hits from about 18 or 20 feet out, and it's 18-18. Time is running down now. 5 seconds to go before the half. This is Fredericks. He shoots at the buzzer. No good, and so we have an 18-18 tie at the end of 2 periods.
The score, the Pacers of Troy 18, the Bulldogs of Randolph 18.
Now a clarification on the rule, that substitution rule I spoke of earlier. Any of the boys on either roster is eligible to play any part of the last half, so that the substitutions basically have all been done, and now for the second half each team can use whoever they would like to use. At halftime we're going to have an interview with Harry Tappan, the president of the Midget Basketball League in Lakeland, and also we'll be having John Wilson, the athletic director at St. Peter's College. That'll be coming up right now. I'd like to go over some of the scoring from the first half just as a quick summary for Randolph. And again, I have to use names and numbers, so if you can bear with me. 2 points for number 14, Donald Soyson, no fouls. Number 4, Darrell Aiken has 6 points and 1 foul. Number 13, Brian Hooper has 2 points and 2 fouls. Number 12, John Fredericks has 1 foul and no points. Number 9, Mark Jager, 2 points and no fouls. Number 10, Kevin Saltz, 1 foul and no points. Number 5, Billy Stackler, 2 points and 2 fouls. Number 1, Mike Dolak, 2 points and no fouls. And number 7, Gus Pavlos has 4 points and no fouls. For a total of 18 points for Randolph. On the other side for Parsippany, number 7, Jimmy Sanders has 6 points. All 3 of those baskets coming very early in the first quarter. Dave Cook, number 11, has 6 points and 2 fouls. Number 4, Todd Ellis, has 1 foul and no points. Number 10, Rich Manhart, has 1 foul and no points. Number 2, Dan Gallagher, has 2 points, no fouls. Number 15, Eric Bogdan, has no points and 2 fouls. Number 12, Mike Lynch, has no points and 3 fouls. And number 6, Bobby Sullivan, has 2 points and 1 foul for the total of 18 points for Parsippany. So at halftime we have an 18-18 tie, but I would think, Pete, that there must be a very one-sided total here on the rebounding for Randolph. It seemed that
numerous times they've come away. They're sending at least 3 men to the boards, and they're coming up with the majority of the rebounds. I think one of the keys to the victory today will be the elimination of the turnover. It seems that both teams have been plagued with turnovers in the first half, and I think the team in the second half with the least turnovers should walk away with a victory. The score is tied 18-18, and if either team can eliminate the mistakes in the second half, I think they'll show a definite advantage in the scoreboard later.
That's true. I think that going along with what you just said about the turnovers, 2 of Parsippany's baskets have come after double turnovers, where Parsippany was bringing the ball up the floor and the ball was stolen at midcourt and restolen, and then in the scramble, there was an easy layup for Cook and an easy layup for Sanders. And on the other hand, Randolph has really played aggressive basketball up here in their backcourt, causing several turnovers that have led to baskets. I'm surprised at the shooting here. I think you leave these people open from 10 feet, 15, 12 feet out, they can hit the jump shots. You know, they shoot a two-handed push shot, and they can hit it. That's a surprise to me. You know, a boy is only 11 or 12 years old playing on a 10-foot basket and playing on a 94-foot court. You might not expect that he can be that effective from deep, but as you've seen, there's been some real fine shooting on both sides.
I'll have to agree with you, Freddie. The shooting has been, I thought, excellent in the first half. They must be shooting in the range of 30 to 40%. And once again, for a 7th grade boy, that's fairly fine shooting when you expect a high school age to shoot in 45 to 50%. They're doing a very good job out here. Both teams looking to come out here now. Parsippany team is already out of the locker room, and they're going to be warming up in the second half.
Well, maybe you can have an opportunity to get to speak with Harry Tappan, the president of the Lakeland League, before we get started here for the second half.
My first guest today at halftime is John Wilson, the athletic director here at St. Peter's College. First of all, I'd like to thank you, John, for the use of the fine facilities here this afternoon. I know the boys all appreciate it, what you're doing for the Lakeland basketball midget program. This is being shown in Morris County, and I'm sure a lot of people are curious about St. Peter's College. It being so close to the Morris County area, I'm sure that a lot of people have attended this fine college, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about your university.
Thanks, Pete. St. Peter's College is one of 28 Jesuit colleges and universities in the United States. The college has existed here in Jersey City for 106 years, and we do have approximately 400 alumni who live within the confines of Morris County. We have a number of Morris County residents who are students here with us right now, and we've had a couple of Morris County student athletes participating in our athletic program, particularly in the sport of basketball. Right now, Tim Dooley out of Butler is a freshman in our program. St. Peter's is a liberal arts institution. You're probably more familiar with the names of some of the other Jesuit colleges. Some of the other 28 include Georgetown University, Boston College, Holy Cross, Fordham University, the University of San Francisco, the University of Detroit, Marquette University, which was the national champion last year in the sport of basketball. Our basketball program here at St. Peter's has had a great tradition over the years. We've been fortunate enough to participate in postseason competition, particularly during the late 60s and also again in the mid-70s in the NIT. Our coach for 22 years was Don Kennedy, who is known as one of the finer coaches in the sport of basketball. After Coach Kennedy, we had Bernie Akeen, who was a very successful coach here in New Jersey, and following Bernie, we had Dick McDonald, who was a Morris County resident. He lived in Dover, right up by the new Rockaway Town Square Mall. He has since left the area and gone on to St. Louis University, where he's become the director of athletics. And our present coach, Bob Kelly, who's in his first year, will have a game here later tonight against Manhattan College, which is his alma mater. Bob Kelly's son, Bob Jr., plays guard for Del Barton, and I know that they have one of the finer teams in Morris County and also in the state of New Jersey. Our game tonight with Manhattan College is a very crucial game. Our record right now is 5-5. We lost to Manhattan last year in triple overtime, and we're looking to avenge that situation tonight. We go on the road Monday. We have to fly down to North Carolina and play East Carolina University on Tuesday night, and then we return home to face Holy Cross, one of the powers not only in the East but also in the nation. They'll be playing us here Saturday night, January 14th.
Let me ask you about, I understand you run a summer program for some of the boys here in the younger age groups. I was going to ask you a little bit about, maybe you could tell us something about that.
That's right, Pete. We run 2 basketball camps during the summer, one for the guys and one for the girls. Bob Kelly, our head coach, is in charge of it. We have other members of the coaching staff participating along with some of the local high school coaches. The camp runs for a week. It involves basketball instruction. There's a lunch program that goes along with it, and we also have some free time in the swimming pool.
Okay, well, I guess the half is ready to begin. We're going to go back to Freddie. Thank you very much for the use of facilities, and good luck with your game tonight.
You're quite welcome. Thanks a lot, Pete. We'd also like to mention a special note of thanks to Dr. Jim Sullivan from Parsippany, who really, along with Bill Walrab, is responsible for bringing the game here to us this afternoon. Dr. Sullivan is an alumnus of St. Peter's. He's a dentist who practices in Landing, and he also does quite a bit of recruiting for our athletic program. Thanks a lot, Pete.
Okay, thank you very much. That was John Wilson, the athletic director of St. Peter's College. We have the president of the Morris County Lakeland Midget Basketball Program, Harry Tappan.
How you doing, Pete?
Harry, how are you this
Good to see you.
Enjoying the game?
Yeah, it sure is. Tie ball game. Can't beat that.
Harry, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the Lakeland Midget Program. What schools or what townships are involved, and how many players and teams there are involved in this program?
Sure. We have 11 teams in the league this year, Pete. It's been varying from 10, 9, 10, 11, and 12 each year. And we're representing basically Morris County and the Lakeland area. We have teams as far west as Hackettstown and Sparta, and as far east as East Hanover, Montville, Morristown, that area.
How many years has the league been in existence?
League started in 1962. It was incorporated in Morris County, and it was named Lakeland Midget Basketball League.
I remember playing in it a few years back.
Yeah.
Maybe you can clarify some of the special rules that they've instituted as far as the substitution goes.
Okay, the basic purpose of the league obviously is to have the boys participating in programs, because we are all sponsored by townships and its recreational programs, and a couple of teams are sponsored by PAL. So our basic motivation is to get the kids and to try to teach them how to play basic basketball, fundamental basketball. So a couple of the rules we put in at the JV level, which are boys age 6th and 7th grades. We have any player that plays in the first quarter of the game cannot play in the second quarter. So in this way, we have at least a minimum of 10 boys playing in each game. Now on the varsity level, we feel we have to cut that down a little bit. So the rule is that if they play in the first 4 minutes of the first quarter, they can't play in the first 4 minutes of the second quarter. So that way we get the varsity ball players on the court too.
I understand you also have a younger division other than the JV.
Yes, we just started this last year. There's been some interest in it in the league. We're looking to start an organized program below the JV level. So now we're talking about 4th and 5th and 6th graders. So we get some more boys active in the program.
Well, that's great. Harry, thank you very much for coming and talking with us.
Pete.
Good luck,
Nice
and
seeing
keep
you.
up the fine work with
Okay,
the
thank you very
program.
much.
We'll be going back to Freddie Douglas and go over some of the stats.
Okay, we're just about ready to go here in the second half, and one announcement has been brought to my attention by Bill Walrab. The man behind the scenes of the Pacer basketball program is the announcement that on the Parsippany Hills varsity basketball game at home against West Essex, the Parsippany Pacers would like to invite as many people as possible in their father and son night at that basketball game. The date is Friday night, the 17th, I believe. I'll have to check the date. I believe it's Friday the 17th. Make that the 20th, Friday the 20th. And it's at Parsippany Hills High School on Reeder Drive. Okay, we're ready to resume now in the third quarter, and the starting lineup for Randolph has Hooper, Nida, Fredericks, Aiken, and Soyson the same team that started the game. And Parsippany goes with the same lineup that it used also to start the game. That's Bobby Skane with the ball. Over to Sullivan. That's Jimmy Sanders. Bobby Skane lets one fly, and the rebound is taken down by Eric Bogdan, and he's tied up for a jump ball.
Number 6, Bob Sullivan. Number 7, Jim Sanders.
Jump balls between Hoopler and Bogdan. Control taken by Parsippany. Skane looking. Still looking. Zone defense by Randolph. Zone defense by Parsippany also. This is Bobby Skane dribbling in front. Jimmy Sanders back to Skane. And again, the rebound comes down to Parsippany. So apparently Parsippany's done something to rebound a little bit better the third quarter than they did in the second quarter. Very off-balance shot by Mike Lynch goes in off the backboard, and Parsippany takes the lead again, 20-18. 6.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Aiken to Hoopler. That's Billy Stackler. And the rebound comes off to Skane and almost tied up for a jump ball. Over to Bobby Sullivan, and this is Mike Lynch. There's a man under the basket is Jimmy Sanders in a similar play to what they ran in the first quarter, but it doesn't click this time. Stackler takes the ball away, and it's re-stolen by Parsippany, and we'll have a jump ball. Sanders and Hooper are the jumpers. Randolph has the tip. This is Nida. His shot is rebounded by Eric Bogdan. Out to Sullivan. The long pass is stolen by Randolph and then is lost out of bounds, so the ball goes back over to Parsippany. I'd like to mention that both officials that work these ball games are Morris County officials working for Board 168. Here's a nice shot by Jimmy Sanders and a rebound by Randolph. Soyson takes the rebound down. But both officials, as I was saying, are Board 168 officials. They referee varsity games, high school varsity games. And they try to get the quality officials that they can get, the best people they can to referee here in the Midget League. They want the boys to know right at this age just what a traveling violation is, what a foul is, 3 seconds and so on. Nice pass inside to Hooper, and he's fouled on the shot by Jimmy Sanders. We have a substitution now for Randolph. Fredericks in for Stackler.
The 13, Brian Hooper at the line, shooting 2.
I'm still looking for Parsippany to come up in their press. I understand that they've done some half-court pressing and full-court pressing. And we were kind of expecting that from them a little bit earlier. Hoopler at the line, misses both, and the rebound is taken by Parsippany. That's Bobby Sullivan, and he loses the ball on a traveling violation. So again, we have the same kind of problem as we had second quarter. We're having turnovers in the midcourt area. When both teams have gotten the ball up the floor into their offense, they've been fairly settled, but it's in the midcourt area from foul line to foul line is where they've had their problems. Nida along the baseline now feeds into Hoopler. Nice pass. Shot is taken off. Aiken on the rebound. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Randolph. Ball goes over to Parsippany. Score is 20-18. 5 minutes and 16 seconds left. Third quarter. Parsippany leads 20-18. Nice inbounds. And here comes Bobby Sullivan over half court. Eric Bogdan on a nice feed, and Mike Lynch makes the layup. Picture perfect. Just the way you'd like to do it on a blackboard. 22 to 18, 4-point lead. This is the biggest lead since the first 2 minutes of the game. Wild shot by Aiken, rebound to Bogdan, and he's tied up for a jump ball.
Looks like Parsippany is going to the boards a little more this half. I guess the coach had fired him up there at halftime.
And I also think the addition of Bogdan back to the lineup does really bolster the rebounding.
Good size 7th grader.
7th grader, and he's the biggest man on the floor. This is Bobby Skane and Sullivan. Parsippany goes back to their 1-3-1 alignment now against the zone. Mike Lynch and Jimmy Sanders. Back to Lynch. Bogdan's open under the basket. They didn't see him. Bobby Skane with a nice move. Penetrates and shoots. He was fouled on the shot, and he'll go to the line for 2. A nice move by Bobby Skane from the foul line. Isolated on the big man. He made a jab and a cross. Foul was committed by Brian Hoopler.
Third personal, team first. 14, Steve Skeen at the line, shooting 2.
Surprising that the foul shooting has been off because they've really been hot in the open with the jump shot or the push shot. 22-18 Parsippany. Skane's second shot, no good. Rebound though comes down to Parsippany. Wild shot taken away by Aiken from Randolph. Up the left side. Nice zip on the pass. Last touch by Parsippany, it's Randolph ball. 4:12 left. We're halfway through the third quarter. Aiken on a bounce pass, and the shot in the lane by Saltz is rebounded by Parsippany and then retaken by Randolph, and we have a jump ball.
Jump ball is made by John Fredericks of Randolph and number 12, Mike Lynch of Park.
Fredericks and Lynch jumping.
Pages the 22-18.
And Fredericks controls, but the tap is taken by Skane. He has a man open on the right and a man open on the left, and he dishes it off to Bobby Sullivan. Good idea inside. Nice try for the lob, but the ball just deflects out of bounds and goes over to Randolph. Aiken and Mike Dolak bring the ball up. Dolak number 1 into the high post, and they're looking for Aiken. Aiken appears to be the leader of this team. This is Dolak. And Fredericks with the ball. Dolak has the ball almost taken away, and now we have a foul on Bobby Skane. There's no question that Parsippany is definitely going to have a good shot at this game as long as they can play those first 5. The rule about making the substitutions in the second quarter seems to have hurt Parsippany a little bit more than it has Randolph, and now we have Randolph calling timeout. 3 minutes and 18 seconds left in the third quarter, and the score is 22-18 Parsippany. And now we have the Parsippany cheerleaders out to entertain. I've just been corrected. All throughout the game I've been calling Steve Skane Bobby Skane, and the reason for the mistake is fairly understandable, I guess, but I guess I shouldn't be excused. Bobby Skane is a freshman at Parsippany Hills, plays on the basketball team with us, but Steve Skane is his younger brother, and Steve Skane is number 14. This is Nida for Randolph as play resumes. Stackler has that shot, and anytime he gets it, he's going to take it. Soyson is tied up on the jump, and it'll either be Sullivan or Skane. It'll be Sullivan, Bobby Sullivan.
Number 14, Donald Soyson. Number 6, Bob Sullivan of Park Troy.
Hooper's jump shot is partially deflected. Last touch by Parsippany. Out of bounds play coming with 4 men up near the foul line. Soyson with the ball back to Aiken, and last touch by Parsippany. Ball belongs to Randolph. Randolph is running. This is Aiken. Darrell Aiken ahead of the field. Misses the layup, but we have the follow-up by Hooper. Missed. And the rebound taken back by Parsippany, and here we go the other way. Steve Sullivan, Bobby Sullivan, all the way down the sideline and lays the ball up and in. Nice drive by Bobby Sullivan. All the way down the sideline, around his man, along the baseline and layup. Nice move by Bobby Sullivan. 24-20, Parsippany with a 4-point lead. 2 minutes to go, third quarter. Soysen's jumper is no good, and the rebound is taken by Bogdan. Parsippany comes up running again, and here's another turnover. So the ball goes back to Randolph. 1:41 to go, third quarter. 4-point lead for Parsippany. Hooper out of the game, and Jaeger in as the substitute. This is Billy Stackler with the ball. There's a shot that's no good by David Nida. Rebound by Stackler. Aiken with the jump shot from the foul line. Rebound comes off to Steve Skane. Bobby Sullivan in the middle of 4 or 5 Randolph players, and he's fouled by Aiken. Second foul on Darrell Aiken. No penalty yet, so Parsippany rebounds, inbounds, and Sullivan triggers to Skane. Skane with a nice fake, and baseline shot is no good, but he gets the ball back in the corner. Nice pass again by Stevie Skane. Parsippany looks much sharper here than they did earlier in the game. They have good opportunities down inside. If they would look inside, they'd be able to get the ball into Bogdan. He has a good size advantage in there with Hooper out of the game. Now we have a jump ball called. Stackler and Sullivan. But with Hooper out of the game, there doesn't seem to be anybody close to Eric Bogdan's size. Tap is controlled by Parsippany, but taken by Randolph. Last touch by Parsippany, it's Randolph ball. 40 seconds to go, third quarter. And Stackler inbounds to Aiken. Nice passing, very nice passing. Picture perfect passing in the 1-3-1, and it results in a layup for Jaeger. Now we have a turnover. The ball goes back to Randolph, and they're only down by 2 points. 25 seconds to go.
Randolph basket by Mark Jaeger.
And the tempo seems to have turned again. Jimmy Sanders back in, and he replaces number 4, Todd Ellis.
Number 7, Jim Sanders, now in the Park Carolina, replacing Todd Ellis.
Nader goes to Stackler. Stackler goes to Soysen. Into Jaeger. His shot is rebounded by Soysen, and now Parsippany doesn't seem to be able to take a rebound down. Jump ball with 5 seconds to go. So just when it looked like Parsippany was taking control of the boards, Randolph comes back and takes control of the boards.
Number 15, Eric Bogdan.
Aiken's shot is missed. Rebound comes off as the buzzer sounds. So that's the end of the third quarter, and the score is 24-22. Parsippany leads.
The Pacers of Park score is 24. The Bulldogs of Randolph 22.
While we have a minute, I'd like to say that I can really appreciate Billy Packer and the good basketball announcers that I see on TV, because I never really realized how much time and effort is involved in putting together a broadcast, and they certainly do a fine job.
Little recap of the third quarter. Both teams started out much more deliberate in the start of the third quarter, and as the quarter developed, the players seemed to open up a little more and run and shoot a little more, creating more turnovers again. It'll be interesting to see how the teams react in the fourth quarter, the game being so close, 2-point difference, Troy on top. and we'll see if they settle it down or they keep going with the run and gun type style.
No lineup changes to report as we start the fourth quarter. Tap controlled by Parsippany. Stolen by Nida. Rebound back to Bobby Sullivan. That was a very good turnover by Nida on a steal, but he wasn't able to convert. Steve Skane with the ball. Skane and Sullivan, the guards for Parsippany. And Randolph is ready to come out of their zone. They're starting to spread themselves out a little bit, and maybe that'll open it up inside. Nice move by Stevie Skane. Shot is missed, and the rebound comes to Randolph, and they look to run. Billy Stackler with the ball. Aiken in the middle of the floor. Off to Nida, penetrates, drives, and shoots and hits. A very nice driving one-hander. And now Randolph has tied the score with 7 minutes to go, and they've got the opportunity here to press and steal. Sullivan down the sideline, looks inside. He's got his man. Layup is good. Eric Bogdan gives the lead back to Parsippany, 26-24. Minute and a half gone in the fourth period. Partially blocked, rebounded by Bogdan. Aiken takes the ball away. He misses, and the rebound comes down to Mike Lynch. Lynch is in trouble in his own backcourt now, and he unleashes the ball to Sanders. Jimmy Sanders is called on a double dribble. Ball goes back to Randolph with the chance to take to tie the game. Nida's drive, and he's fouled. Nida will go to the line for two.
Number 12, Mike Lynch's third personal.
Mike Lynch's third foul puts Nida on the line for two shots. The foul shooting has really been off today, and just as I say that, he swishes the ball. Stackler out and Fredericks in for Randolph. Nida sets and shoots. Ball is loose, and it's going to be a jump ball again. Hooper will be jumping, and he'll be jumping against Mike Lynch. So the size advantage here on the jump goes to Randolph. And they control the tap, but they don't get the ball. Troy ball. Bobby Skane on the dribble. But now check that, Bobby Sullivan. Good rebound by Bogdan. Last touched by Randolph. One thing Bogdan does very well is he gets the rebound and he holds it over his head. He doesn't bring the ball down where people can grab it. Score is 26-25. Parsippany has a 1-point lead. Sullivan's shot, no good. Rebound comes off to Jager. Soyson, check that. That's Soyson on the rebound. Outletting to Aiken. Nice dribbling, Aiken. A little force on the shot, but he made some nice penetration there. Long pass, stolen by Soyson, and Randolph comes back again with the ball. This is Bobby Sullivan. Off to Jimmy Sanders. His shot is no good. Rebound comes to Nida, tied up by Sullivan. Aiken recovers in the scramble, and he's called for a travel, so the ball goes over to Parsippany. Most of the turnovers occur from foul line to foul line in this age group of basketball. Soyson has a rebound. Long pass to Nida. Shot is good, and Randolph takes the lead again, 27-26. Stevie Skane dribbling the ball up the floor. Looking. Bogdan's wide open under the basket. And we have traveling called for Troy. Eric Bogdan has been wide open in the lane many times, and he hasn't been seen. And Parsippany calls time, and that may be just the reason why they're calling timeout.
Randolph leading 27-26.
Hooper's been out on foul trouble, and Parsippany has not been able to take advantage of that by getting anything from their big man down inside on their offense.
They haven't been looking for him down low. He's been open on occasion, but he just hasn't been getting the ball. Turnovers, it seems that Randolph is making fewer turnovers in the fourth quarter here. Parsippany has thrown the ball away a few times.
As we come down the wire here, I think two things will be important. Foul shooting, number one, and turnovers. The team that's not turning the ball over during the last 4 minutes and making their foul shots probably will be the team that wins. Aiken with the ball and Fredericks. Long shot by Nida. Nida is taken off on the rebound by Parsippany. Ball goes over to Randolph. Last touch by Parsippany, and there's a red Parsippany turnover. Aiken with the ball. Nice pass inside to Soyson. Another nice pass. Open shot for Fredericks. He hits, and it's a three-point lead. Stevie Skane down the sideline. To Lynch and back to Skane. Bogdan calling for the ball under the basket, but he didn't see him. This is Bobby Sullivan and Jimmy Sanders. Back to Sullivan. Skane, Sullivan, Sanders, Skane, Sanders. Wide open. That was a good sequence on offense for Parsippany. Very patient. They passed the ball around 2 or 3 or 4 times, and they got an easy jump shot for Jimmy Sanders along the baseline. Brian Hoopler now has committed his 4th foul. And he makes a nice defensive play, knocking the ball away from Eric Bogdan. Aiken comes up running, penetrates, and goes. Bogdan rebounds, and Bogdan outlets to Sanders. Ahead to Skane, stolen by Soyson. Soyson must have 5 or 6 steals in the second half alone, back at the top of the key on the defense. Soyson at the foul line, in traffic. Shot is no good. Rebound taken by Bogdan. Jump ball. Aiken and Sullivan. Timeout Randolph. 3 minutes and 2 seconds left to play. 29 for Randolph, 26 for Parsippany. Once again now we have the Parsippany cheerleaders out. I'll tell you, the Randolph team certainly is a whole different ball club with Aiken in the game and with Aiken out of the game.
He seems to be the catalyst of their offense and an excellent defensive player, a good leaper. He's definitely going to be a good ball player in the future.
The same holds true for Soyson defensively. Time and again he's made a steal in the backcourt on a long pass by Parsippany. Aiken jumping with Sullivan. Ball goes over to Nida. Open for the jump shot, but he doesn't take it. Randolph has the lead, so you might not expect them to take the shots now down with 2 minutes to go, but they had 2 good opportunities there, and they lose the chance, and the ball comes over to Parsippany. Down 3 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. Ball is lost and then re-stolen, and Knight has stepped on the out-of-bounds line. Jimmy Sanders right in front of me inbounding the ball to Sullivan, tied up by Aiken and now tied up by Hooper. So Sullivan is going to jump with Hooper. 2.5 minutes to go.
Between number 13, Brian Hooper of Randolph, and number 6, Bob Sullivan of the Pacers of Clarksville.
Randolph easily controls the tap, but as has happened several times before, they almost lose possession of the ball. 2:30 to go. They will become a little bit more patient, I believe. Perhaps they'll make them come out of the zone. Nida and Aiken outside. Not in as much of a hurry right now. Traveling called, and the ball goes over to Parsippany.
Traveling violation.
Skane inbounds, and Sullivan brings the ball up. Parsippany trails by 3 points with just over 2 minutes left in the game. Jimmy Sanders is wide open. Misses, but the ball is off on the rebound, and they lose it out of bounds. It goes to Randolph.
12:07 remaining fourth quarter. The Bulldogs of Randolph leading 29-26.
This is Nida with the ball. And you can see now that Randolph senses Soyson with a rebound. Aiken again. 3 seconds is the call, but you can see how Randolph now senses the kill. They're trying to set the Parsippany team up for the kill. Minute and 50 to go.
1:50 remaining.
Randolph by 3. This is Sullivan breaking the double team on a nice dribble, and he dishes off nicely to Mike Lynch. Underneath to Eric Bogdan for the layup. So it's a 1-point game with a minute and a half to go. And Parsippany comes up in the press. Foul on Sullivan on the attempted steal.
Paul Troy foul number 6, Bob Sullivan, his first personal.
Non-shooting foul, so the ball's just be inbounded.
Personal, team 4.
1 point lead for Randolph. Minute and 32 to go. Aiken with the ball. Soyson down the lane. Good foul to commit. Foul was committed by number 4, Todd Ellis. That was a good foul because without that foul, it would be a layup and a 3-point game.
Paul Troy foul number 4, Todd Ellis, his first personal, team 6.
Bogdan and Skane back in, replacing Sullivan and Sanders. Soyson misses the first, however, the rebound is a jump ball. Minute 24 to go. 1 point lead for Randolph. Aiken has the advantage here on the tap, and he taps the ball with 2 hands, and that's a violation. That's the difference between having a carded official and perhaps having someone else to referee the game. Parsippany inbounds. They're down 1 with a minute and 22 to go. Todd Ellis. And the head of the field pass attempted for Eric Bogdan. There's another turnover. Minute and 15 to go, and Randolph calls time.
I think we'll see some type of stall by the Randolph team in the last minute and 15 seconds, and I imagine we'll see some type of press full court to pick up the Randolph players by the Parsippany team.
Well, it could still come down to a foul shooting contest. A minute and 15 is a lot longer than it seems. Randolph goes with Aiken, Nida, Hoopler, Soyson, and Fredericks. Parsippany counters with Ellis, Bogdan, Skane, Lynch, and Rich Manhart. Here's the full court press, and there's the foul. So in 1 second, we have our first foul.
Mike Lynch's fourth personal, team 6.
Soyson shooting a 1-and-1.
For 14, Donald Soyson at the line, shooting 1-and-1.
Shot is missed, but Aiken rebounds. Very important rebound that was. And Aiken's been fouled. That foul was committed by Todd Ellis. And so less than 5 seconds after that timeout, we've had Randolph go to the line twice in 1-on-1s. Darrell Aiken shooting a 1-on-1. Very big foul shots right now. That makes it a 2-point lead, 30-28. Rebound taken by Randolph. Aiken with a shot. Surprising, but he takes a shot and the rebound comes down, and Parsippany almost turned the ball over on that pass from Bogdan. Here they come on the break. Steve Skane drives on Aiken and makes a running one-handed. Beautiful shot by Skane. The game is tied. 50 seconds to go. And there's a foul called. He has a foul on 4 white. The foul is committed on the block. Todd Ellis commits the foul. So Fredericks goes to the line 1-and-1, and these are big shots. 46 seconds to go, 30-30 tie. Sullivan checks in. He replaces Rich Manhart.
Number 6, Bob Sullivan, now in the lineup, replacing Rich Manhart.
John Fredericks coolly sinks the first end of the 1-and-1.
Fredericks hits the first free throw. Now he gets the bonus shot.
And he makes them both. Randolph back in the 2-point lead again. Randolph back in the press. Sullivan up the sideline. He has a man ahead of the field, but there's another steal by Soysan. He has a man ahead of the field. Darrell Aiken on the layup. Misses. The rebound comes down to Randolph. 3 seconds is called on Darrell Aiken, and there's 30 seconds to go in the game. 2-point Randolph lead.
30 seconds remaining.
Timeout, Parsippany.
Timeout called by
So we are going to have an exciting finish. We've already had some excitement right down here. Several foul shot opportunities that have been missed, a few steals and turnovers, fast break opportunities. We had a nice shot down here on the offensive end by Stevie Skane. 30 seconds left to go. I don't know what to expect from Parsippany because they've had the chance to go inside with Eric Bogdan, but they may look to go to Skane. If Skane penetrates, they may try to draw the foul. I don't know. What do you think they're going to do?
I'm not quite sure. I think they'll have to definitely get off a shot within 30 seconds. They probably will look to set up a shot and crash the boards. That's about all I can do, and hope to get their rebound if it doesn't go in.
The ball coming in now. Sullivan inbounds. And there's a turnover, and that could be it. 25 seconds to go. Aiken outside. Shot is taken, and it's good, and now it's a 4-point lead. That could do it. That was John Fredericks. 4-point lead, 15 seconds to go. Stevie Skane drives, misses, rebound comes off to Sullivan. Traveling, and Randolph takes the ball. There are 8 seconds to go, and it's a 34-30 Randolph lead. So the turnovers have come out to be the difference. Fredericks is fouled intentionally, and it'll be a 2-shot foul. Steve Skane fouls him. 7 seconds left to go. 34-30. Randolph lead. Parsippany committed just 2 or 3 too many turnovers in the fast break opportunities.
7 seconds remaining in the game. The Bulldogs of Randolph leading 34-30.
Kevin Salt's on the line, misses the first. Check that. John Fredericks at the line. Still has 1 to go. Misses the second. It'll be a jump ball. 6 seconds left. 4-point lead for Randolph. It's just about impossible right now for Parsippany. Tap controlled by Parsippany. Todd Ellis lets one go at the buzzer. No basket. There's a whistle on the play with 2 seconds to go. He was traveling. So Randolph takes control.
2 seconds remaining.
And that should do it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the final score of the game is 34-30 to Randolph. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank Pete Angus for working with me today and telling all the people down the line that it's really a tougher job to announce a basketball game than you think.
Thank you.